celebrate and have fun. No time to wait. Open up your mind with markers, pencils, or paints. Hear what they have made. Savannah, Russell, and Jane with a podcast just for you. It's time for Fan Brush. Artists with a lot to say. It's Fan Brush. Listen, it'll make your day.
Hey, Bryce.
Hey.
How are you?
Hot as fuck. See, look, you can over here. You can see the sweat glistening.
Stop sweating on my chair.
Oh, all over the chair.
We're recording right now, too.
Uh-oh.
I'm leaving this in.
Hey.
Hey. I'm sorry your AC is broken.
Bound to happen one of these days. It just didn't have to be on one of these 100-degree days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel especially bad because I've got a blanket across my legs right now.
Did you tell her how old it was?
Our air conditioner was 23 years old.
Oh my god.
Right? Like, we got 3 quotes today, and everyone's like, this was made in, like, 97. Cool. Like,
I was 10 when your I was 10 when your AC was put in.
I was not even in high school yet.
The first guy who like gave us a quote was like, yeah, it's gonna be like $14,000. And we were like, hell no, it ain't.
Yeah, we're like, go fuck yourself, it isn't.
I was in here working, and Bryce comes in and gives me that quote. I was like, tell that man to get the fuck out of my house.
Word for word still.
I was like, hell no, we're not paying
No,
that.
and then when I was trying to like shoo him away or whatever, he was just like, what can I do to earn your business today? And I'm like, nothing. I'm gonna go get quotes. And then he had the audacity to go, well, I can look up what other people would charge you. I'm like,
Why would I troll?
yeah, you'll just look up people and tell me that are higher than you, so I go with you. Go fuck yourself. I'll do an independent study. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, yeah, we look like we're dying, but we weren't born yesterday. Like, fuck off.
Right? And they're like, we have one of each of these units left. You must choose now. And we're like, nah.
I was like, in the whole DFW area, you've only got like 2 air conditioners.
2, yeah, 2. Seriously? You only have 2 of the second most common size? Yet no, not in the hottest part of the year. I doubt that.
It's okay, we got it taken care of.
Yeah.
It's fine. But I was like, the audacity. I was so insulted.
For less than half the price, mind you. Like, all right, I'll let you guys get back to it. Good seeing all you guys. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye, Bryce.
Bye!
Nice shot of your tits there.
I'm hot. You're like my clothes, to be honest. I put clothes on for you guys.
Look at my
I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be walking around in like a crop top and underwear if I was in your situation.
I was down to like bra and underwear earlier, like no joke.
I wore a crop
I
top
was
to
just
work.
like, nah. All right. Also, we're watching Citizen Kane. Like, I've been just watching movies to get my mind off of how hot it is in here. Bryce has never seen it, so.
He's never
haven't
seen
seen it
Citizen
either.
Kane?
No, you should Russell. It's not streaming anywhere, but I rented it for like $3, so.
Okay.
Yeah. I
I'll
mean,
have to do that when the
for
twins
no
are-
other reason, the movie is like beautiful. Like the shots, the cinematography.
Is that why everybody's just like, this is the Citizen Kane of horror, the Citizen Kane of fantasy, the Citizen Kane of
I mean, yeah. I mean, the movie's iconic. Like seriously,
Okay.
go watch this. Fucking love it. Haven't seen it in a few
Wow.
years. So.
Well, it's like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen The Revenant or whatever, but like I could give 2 shits about the rest of the movie, but God, that movie is so pretty to look at. Like the whole one continuous shot style, like scenes, like so good.
Is that like the wait, there's another one that's like that. What is it? 1990? 1917?
Oh, 1908?
17.
1917. Thank you, Savannah.
You're welcome. I'm a movie nerd. I got this.
Savannah's got us covered.
Also, if you've never seen that one, that's another one. Except you got to be like ready for like a war movie because it is a war.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think I should be able to talk David into watching that one night because David loves like true life movie stuff.
Yeah.
We watch like in documentaries.
It's real good, but it's not for kids. Like don't let the kids watch it.
Oh no.
It's violent a little bit.
Yeah. When the kids are home, we watch a lot of Disney.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, one more thing. Did you know there's a new Muppet show on Disney Plus right now?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny.
Is it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the Fan Brush podcast.
Hi.
Where we're not going to be talking about movies at all.
Maybe.
Maybe a little.
Maybe just a little.
Sometimes.
All right, so today's topic: what we've been doing art-wise in quarantine.
Who wants to go first?
Russell, go first.
No,
Okay.
Russell, go first. Nose goes.
The support extrovert will go first.
Yes.
Yay. Icebreakers, they're my favorite. Fun thing about icebreakers, side note. So in my church group and stuff, we always used to do like weird little icebreakers whenever there would be new people to the thing. And like one of the times it was just like, what was something weird you used to do as a child? And I was like, eat rock.
I'm sorry.
And so that broke the ice and everyone started talking, or did everybody just go silent?
like we had to write it on a little piece of paper and put it in a hat, and whoever drew it had to guess who it was. And they looked at it and they looked at me and they go, Russell. Somebody was just like, what is it? And just like, I used to eat rocks as a kid. And everybody was like, what the hell? I was like, yeah. I would eat pebbles and just like pop them in my mouth and swallow them and pretend they were M&Ms because they were the same size as M&Ms, and I would like, or vitamins or whatever. And in my mind, I was just like, I can eat these. They're the same size. What would happen? And I did that for a while. Like I was like 3, 4, 5, like doing that. And like I told that story to my mom, and my mom was just like, yeah, that was really upsetting because there was multiple times that I had to like grab your face and like dig in your mouth like a dog to get those things out.
Your mom's just following you around like a dog, like, what are you eating? What are you eating?
Your mouth. Run away. No, they're my rocks. Swallow them. Swallow them. Yeah. Are you okay, Jade?
I'm just imagining you eating rocks, and it's the greatest thing ever.
I also used to drink out of the...
Please tell me it was the back of the toilet.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Russell.
I was like 3 or 4, and I had this like Donald Duck cup, and I remember thinking and like looking at it, and it was clear, and I was just like, and I already had water in my cup, and I was just like, this water's clear, that water's clear, dogs drink out of the toilet. And so I poured my water into the toilet and scooped it back out and went over, just like drank it and went back to my business.
I mean, your logic was sound for a 3-year-old.
Absolutely sound. Every now and then, whenever I use the restroom, I think about that, and I look down. I'm just like, don't drink that.
Is this what quarantine has done to you?
That did not happen during quarantine. Funny. But during quarantine, that's not me eating rocks or drinking out of toilets. I have decided to get back into drawing a lot more because like I showed y'all, I'll probably take a picture and we'll put it on our Instagram of that character and stuff, and like whenever it's like anatomical position straight on, I do really well for like character designs and whatever. But I'm starting to work on, I should probably not put my hands in front of my face talking into the mic. Train of thought. I'm trying to work on more dynamic positions and anatomy with the body in different positions and stuff, so that way like whenever I'm drawing a person, it's like this shoulder and elbow doesn't really do that, and trying to get more comfortable with that. That's something I'm working on. But overall major is continuing working on my book and learning more about good writing, especially with fantasy and sci-fi, because the book has both of those elements in there. And so, like, I started Brandon Sanderson, which is one of my favorite writers. He does Mistborn, Stormlight Archives. He's an amazing writer. And all of his classes from BYU, because he teaches creative writing for sci-fi and fantasy, all of his classes are on YouTube. And so I just started watching those, and it's been huge to learn so much, especially from a writer that I really like. So I'm learning a lot. So yeah, I'm trying to get done with the read through the book and not just like sit down and try to just start the next draft, because that's bad.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm also trying to like sometimes get back into painting, because living with my brother and stuff, he's very minimalistic and like stuff organized because we're both ADHD and so are the children. So we try to keep the house as neat and tidy and minimalistic as possible. So having like my art stuff out all the time isn't really viable. So that's one reason why I'm trying to get into drawing, because it's like I can't have my giant paint canvas that's like 4 foot by 4 foot out all the time, especially with tiny children that find the weirdest spots to just it's like, what are you doing there, Brooklyn? Nothing. Liar. What have you got behind your back? Nothing. It's a knife. No, that did not happen. That's more of like what happened when I was her age.
When you were eating rocks.
Yes.
Eating rocks and stabbing people.
Yes. So I just general overall just trying to stay in the realm of creation and art. And I'm also trying to do, like, whenever I get frustrated with the main book novel that I'm working on, I've been trying to switch it up and do other stuff with like other writing, so that way I stay in the craft. Because I've got like 10 other ideas that I want to make into books. And so like I'm playing around with the plot and characters and settings and just trying to record all that and play around with that whenever I get frustrated with the main novel. So that way I like active and practicing and doing discipline, routine. Hey, anything y'all want to know about that?
What?
Was I not close to the mic whenever is there any questions you have about that routine or whatever the hell I'm doing?
What about your job, Russell?
Oh yeah, my job. So yeah, I was saving this. Like I wanted to. I sent y'all a text message saying like, "Hey, this good thing happened at work," but I restrained myself from calling y'all and goobing all about the situation. So I am a tile artisan. I make custom tile. So like we make the bisque, we paint it, we cook it, and we send it off. Some people think they're just like, oh my gosh, I want to see the end product. I'm like, here's a pallet full of boxes. It's going to the client. I don't know what they're using it for. But so I've been with them for about 2.5 years. 2.5 years? 3 years? 2.5. Something like that. And this week we got confirmation that we got a job to do a giant mural for a business somewhere in San Antonio, I think. And it's going to take up a lot of my boss's time, which is a married couple, Sheldon and Sienna. And it's just the three of us in the studio, which is great, especially during this quarantine time, because like we're all really careful. And if there were more employees, we would have to wear masks. And in a place that doesn't have air conditioning, breathing your own breath for 8 hours in Texas humidity is not okay. It's not fun.
Yeah.
No, it makes my face. But she said that because she's going to be taking over point for this mural, that I'm going to be taking over the studio a little bit more, and I'm going to be becoming the point person for the glazing, and she's going to hand over the recipes and the like the mixtures and all that of how to make the tile to me once we got all of our samples done and our master board finished. That I'm going to kind of like take over the studio, and that all of the production side of stuff in the studio I'm going to be in charge of.
Yay!
Yay! Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's very exciting because like I really love my job and I love my bosses so much, and I've learned so much, and it's such a healthy environment to be in, especially if after doing like 12-13 years in service industry and being a waiter and everything. I still value those years, and I learned a lot about being a person and how people want to be treated, but this job situation is so much better, and I value my bosses so much. And they're also very encouraging of my art outside too. Sienna and I have multiple conversations about getting back into art and stuff, in drawing and painting. So yeah, that's
your quarantine art life, huh?
Well, yeah, kind of. Like I've been drawing a lot and a lot more. And like another thing that this is kind of like my deep nerdy side. I at first, whenever quarantine first happened, like I hit that depression slump for about a week. And to kind of like pull myself out of it, I just started playing games on my phone because I didn't have a Switch then, because the Switch was a present to myself for completing the novel first round. Eventually going to do this. Eventually I did get it. Hey, but I got like these different games and stuff, and how I know I'm getting into a good creative zone is whenever I make up my own characters based on whatever I'm doing, whether it's like a TV show or a video game and stuff. And so I just started like making up characters based on like Final Fantasy 9 or whatever. And I just like take different elements from them, be like, this part's cool, that part's cool. And I kind of like mush them together and make my own character. Y'all are really quiet.
We're listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Jade, what have you been doing during quarantine art-wise?
So, I've actually been trying out mediums that I'm not very good at because I feel like I pretty much got acrylic down. I've got charcoals down. I've got, figure studies and all that other stuff down. So, but what I've really, really been practicing at is watercolor because I love the way it looks, but I am terrible at it. I am so terrible. I don't understand glazing. I don't understand, I lift color when I'm not supposed to on accident half the time. I don't know how much water to use half the time. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of watercolor. I've also been doing a lot of colored pencil on toned gray paper because I feel like what's the point of having a white colored pencil if it's not going to show up? I've also been doing a lot more digital art because that's another weak spot for me. Another thing that I've been doing in quarantine is I have become an art supply hoarder in quarantine because I cannot stop ordering art supplies on Amazon or Michael's or anything where I don't have to leave the house and it's right there.
I'm jealous.
So easy.
I know. Oh my God, it's so easy. And then especially because at my job, they've been giving us gift cards to work on the weekend that are Amazon gift cards. So they're just fueling my problem even further. And then I've also been watching a ton of art YouTubers to kind of, whenever I can't figure out if I want to draw, but I can't figure out what I want to draw, I'll start watching art YouTubers to try and kind of, because they end up inspiring me half the time because I'll see them draw something and I'll think, wow, that's really cool. And then it'll kind of, spawn into my own version of whatever that is. And then it just becomes something else.
Nice.
And then another thing that I've been doing in quarantine is I would never actually do it because I do not have the attention span and I am lazy. Well, okay, eating rocks is easy, but I'm obsessed with watching videos of people bullet journaling, but I can never ever. That's why it's so funny that you mentioned bullet journaling earlier because I was just like, I would love to do that, but I so do not have the patience to do an entire monthly spread.
Oh my God.
The thought gives me anxiety and makes me feel like I need to take, it just makes me so anxious. The thought of having to plan my entire month.
Yeah.
Russell, do you want to just go ahead and tell the bullet journal story?
I mean, I gave you a lead in, so
you did. And since Savannah doesn't want to tell the story, I'll tell the story.
Go ahead.
What was it? Was it New Year's Eve?
No, you were staying at our house, I think, for the weekend or something. And,
I think it was one of my visits up to Dallas or something.
Yeah. And so you were staying with us, and I was like, hey, I know this really cool place. Let's go check out this bookstore over here. And I think before you had come over, for some reason, somehow I had seen somebody using a bullet journal. I think it was actually an artist on YouTube. She's like, this is how I plan my day. I use a bullet journal and I do this and that. And I was like, well, what's a bullet journal? And I started researching it on my own. So when Russell came over, I was like, let's go to this bookstore. I'm thinking about getting a bullet journal or whatever. And so we went and we both bought one. And we actually went to a couple of stores looking for one. And
I bought more journals.
Colored pins and washi tape and all kinds of stuff. Because I was like, I'm going to make the most beautifulest bullet journal ever. And this is going to help me keep my goals for 2020 as an artist. And we can do it together and we can be accountability buddies. And it's going to be so beautiful. And we'll check in with each other and see how we're doing. And we figured out how to do the monthly lines, how many dots you got to go over, I count all the dots.
I did not.
I gave the information to Russell. Like I passed it along. I was like, it's a 5x5 square. You'll be fine. And I got like
yeah, I forgot about it.
and then Russell went back home. And so we were like off on our bullet journal like journey separately together. And
our bullet journal walk to the porch.
yeah, so I actually did okay on mine. Like, so like at the beginning of the year, I had made that whole New Year's resolution to do more art. And I was like, maybe I'll do an Etsy shop or something, but like this will help me get more organized. At the beginning of the year, up until like I would say the beginning of March, I was doing actually pretty good with the bullet journaling thing. And then like the world started to end, and that's when it just went all came crashing down. Like for me at least. And then like one day I was like, oh, my bullet journal. I like opened it up and I noticed that I was like 3 months behind. I was like, well, this is fine.
You know what you could do is you could just go into your bullet journal and add those months, but then just put canceled, like in huge letters, like across, like canceled due to COVID-19. Like,
I just don't want to. Like,
see, that's why I could never do bullet journaling, is because I know myself. I would do really well and I'd make that first month and it would be really great. And then by the second month, I'd be like, I don't fucking want to. I just put don't feel like it and then put it down, and then I'd probably never do it again.
That reminds me of the time that we were smoking cigarettes in the Denny's parking lot after we had bought coloring books, and we're doing coloring books, and you bought a sucker and you had the sucker in your mouth, and we're just sitting there. I think we might have been stoned too. and we're just sitting there just like having fun, and then all of a sudden Jade like takes the sucker out of her mouth and goes, "Don't watch you no more," and chunked it through the parking lot. Just like out of nowhere. I was like, Jade, you spent $2 on that expensive sucker. And she's like, I didn't want any more. And just like,
I don't remember this at all. I must have been. I don't remember.
I think
I remember
we were waiting.
the coloring books.
Yeah, because we sat in Denny's and drank coffee and had a snack because we were waiting for a party, I think, to happen. And we were just hanging out. And we pre-gamed a bit and went and got coloring books and colored them in Denny's, and then smoked cigarettes in the parking lot like degenerates. And then
didn't I get like a Star Wars coloring book and I made Darth Vader like bright pink or something?
Yeah, I got a My Little Pony thing. I got My Little Pony. I was just like, yeah, My Little Pony. And Jane's like, I made Darth Vader pink.
He's Darth Vader.
Then she just chunked her lollipop across the parking lot. I was like, oh, okay, we're done with that lollipop's existence.
I think I wanted a cigarette. That might have been why I was done with it. You can't smoke cigarettes and eat a sucker at the same time. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So how about you, Savannah? What have you been doing in quarantine?
Besides abandoning your bullet journal.
Right.
My bullet journal. You know what's funny is I just got a planner. Like, I just went out and got, like, a regular planner that already had the printed sheets or whatever, and I just, like, this is my life, and I'm okay with it. I don't need to be a bullet journal guru, and I'm okay with it. Yeah, so, like, I can't... Were you guys over here for New Year's? Did you guys...
This last year I was, yeah. I think Russell was there, too, yeah.
We're there, maybe. I feel like you were. Anyway,
I was.
So, like, every year on New Year's, we have a New Year's party at my house, and one of our traditions... Everybody goes around the room and just says like one thing they're thankful for and one thing they want to accomplish in the new year. And while I was thinking of what to say at the end of the night, I like sat there and realized, you know, like, man, 2019 went by so fast, and like I didn't meet any of my goals art wise or whatever, getting back into drawing. And then I like sat there and I had like one of those epiphany moments that you have, you know, you're just like, but it's my fault. You know what I mean? Like, it was all my fault. Like, I was the one who didn't make the effort. I was the one who just sat on the couch and didn't do anything instead of, like, getting up and actually doing what I knew I should have done. Yeah. And so, like, at midnight or however late we ended up staying up because, you know, who stays up to midnight anymore?
We're in our 30s.
Right, exactly. I was like, close enough. You know, my resolution was, like, I'm going to make 2020 my art year. Like, this is going to be my journey back into art, and I'm gonna make it happen, which is why I got the bullet journal and I was so gung-ho and everything. Like, it was going great until March, so that's what we're gonna talk about, like the quarantine part. When all of that stuff happened, all of my motivation just like went away. like just went away for like, I would say like 2 months. And then I was like, you know what? I feel like this isn't going to go away anytime soon. So maybe I should get off my butt and do stuff. So I actually ended up taking a month-long acrylic painting class online with this artist that I really like. His name's 1000. He's like on YouTube. And I think I invited you guys to it. It was kind of short notice, so.
You did. I did not have the money for the thing at the time.
It's
Because you wanted a buddy to do it with.
Yeah, I did. And you know me, I'm antisocial. And that was part of the thing is like, that was the other thing is like, once I got into that class, I was like, all right, cool. This is cool. And then I found out that part of our grade was actually like participation with the rest of the class. And I was I didn't sign up for this. Like we
I
had
didn't
to
sign up for socialization.
I did not. I didn't pay for this. But yeah, I mean, it actually ended up being really cool. I met some really cool people against my will. And, part of my assignment was, giving them feedback, and they gave me feedback on my work. And it was a month-long painting class. And it was actually kind of hard because it was I wasn't in the habit of doing something every day creatively. And, of course, we're all still working full time. And so it was I would get off of work and I'm working at home. So I'd, clock out here and then I'd, walk 2 feet over and start painting. And a month of doing that, it was so tiring, honestly. But I'm glad I did it. It was really fun. And I learned a lot, actually. And I got a really cool painting out of it.
It is a cool painting.
It is a very cool painting.
Thanks. I like it. It actually came out, I think, a lot better than I thought I was going to. And especially because, I don't really do human characters a lot. I'm more of, an animal or a robot type of person. So I made myself do a human character because that's one of the things that 1000, the artist that was teaching the class, it's one of the things he does original characters and stuff. So it was also in the vein of other things I'm trying to do, like getting out of my comfort zone lately, which is something else I'm trying to do. So I got an iPad, and I've been working on trying to get better at digital art, which is something that has always frustrated me. I think I've tried digital art stop and start 10 times.
Oh my god, yes 50 times on everything. I feel you so hard. I've tried it so many times.
It's hard, man. Especially
it's hard.
So Matt props anybody who can do digital art because I thought, excuse me for being my hubris, I thought, I'll just get a tablet and I'll just get the stylus and I'll just rock it out. I know how to draw, whatever. It's totally different. It's a whole nother skill set. So I'm working on that. The iPad helps a lot because it's more of a one-to-one thing. I'm better at the tablet now than I used to be on the computer because I do still use it for Photoshop and things like that. But yeah, and then I've also started trying to actually sell prints and other bits of artwork online. So that was my other goal. Eventually, I think my long-term goal, big goal is I would love to just make my living doing art. I've never wanted to have an office job ever, and suddenly it's one of those things you put your head down and 5 years, 6 years later you're like, well, why am I still here?
Yep.
Not that I don't like my job. I like my job. I like the people I work with or whatever, but it's in the long term, in the future, it's not what I see. So that's what I'm doing in quarantine, just working toward that, expanding my skill set, and just trying to become a better artist, trying to do more art, trying to get back to where I used to be. Because I feel like my skill level has gone down from not practicing enough,
Yeah, I actually am thinking about ordering my first set of prints to sell of that that digital Frankenstein that I did or whatever. Because I've had a couple people ask me, they were like, are you gonna sell prints of that? Because if you're gonna sell prints of that, then I'm interested. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to be potentially selling my first prints soon. Yeah. Just as I have huge amount of respect for both of y'all for pursuing your creative side as an actual job and something that's gonna bring you income doing something that you love or whatever, because I just don't feel like I'm that good. So But the thing is too, is that I also kind of just fell into a job within the last year that I actually can see myself retiring from. So it's I literally could see myself at this job for the next 30 years. I'm totally serious. So and it's a good job, and it's, you know, it's job security and all that. So a lot of my art is probably just going to be like a side hustle if I do anything like that. So I just wanted to throw it out there that like I have total respect for you guys for pursuing that kind of stuff when I'm not brave enough to do so.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm quitting my job tomorrow and like going, you know, full on at it either.
Yeah.
I'm quitting my job and moving to Paris, and I'm going to be a professional artist.
Yay!
That was my plan in high school. I've grown a little since then.
Right. Yeah. Once that money slap hits you across the face.
The money slap. It's true. Once you realize, when somebody tells you how much everything costs, I had no idea. I had no idea electricity was so expensive, you guys.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. I had no idea that internet was so expensive. Just internet, not including cable, not including phone.
And then you're like, I gotta pay for water too? What the heck?
Right? This is an outrage. I'm Karen, and I would like to speak to your manager.
Oh my
but
gosh.
you know, eventually, like that, like to me, that would be my retirement plan. Like I would retire from whatever full-time office job or whatever I'm working at the time, and I would just do my art stuff as a means of like making my living. Like that's my my end goal now. Used to be working at Pixar, but I gave that one up.
I wanted to work at Pixar.
Really?
Yeah, I did in high school. I took like a 3D animation class because I wanted to work for Pixar.
I took a 3D animation class too.
Yeah.
Because we had to have a computer credit. And
that's why I took mine too. Yeah! Like us artists always find a way around it, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I think so like the best moment of my high school career was like there was some class, I can't remember what class it was, but like we had to write a report about like what we wanted to do when we grew up or whatever. And we had to like research a company that we wanted to work for. And so my 15-year-old, 16-year-old ass had the audacity to call Pixar. I called Pixar and I was like, yo, I want to work for you when I grow up. What do I got to do? Can you send me some information? Is there someone who I can interview for this paper that I'm writing? And the lady on the phone was like so sweet. And she ended up like sending me like a packet of like, I don't know, maybe it's something they send to like people they want to hire, or it was some kind of informational packet, but it had like a brochure about Pixar and it had all of their like little shorts and stuff. This is back in the day. This was like 2001 or something like that. So
neat.
Like Toy Story had been made and there was a couple other ones, but like it was early days still kind of. The best part of the whole package though, they sent me a VHS with a copy of Jerry's Game on it, which is, it's the little old man playing chess against himself. Do you guys?
Yes.
Oh, I love that one.
That was like my favorite short back in the day too. So I like treasured that VHS. I lost it at some point during like all my moves or whatever. But I had the audacity to call Pixar and like get a packet for it. It was the coolest thing I ever had. And I had it for a while. And then when I moved up to college, I lost all. Sad. But yeah, that was me. That was my dream back in the day. Although if I had known how much math goes into that stuff, I may not have
Right, yeah, no, there's a lot of math involved, and there's a lot of like different like equations you got to figure out to like, especially in the animation aspect of it. Like, oh god, it's a nightmare. I'm sure it's a lot easier now though.
Yeah, it better be. Oh my gosh, 3ds Max was such a pain in the butt.
I think I would like to do, if I had more information back then, I think I would have gone for like more like backgrounds and like scenery and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that interests me. Like what you call it? It was like the
background, foreground.
I feel like
middle
there's a
ground
word for it though, like
picture frame
or like I don't know. There's probably
choo-choo trains.
Huh? Choo-choo
What?
train? What?
I'm just throwing out words.
Squirrel?
Squirrel.
But yeah, no Pixar for me. I'm okay. It's fine because like I'm kind of glad I never went into it though, because now I can just enjoy the movies without critiquing them or like, you know what I mean? That whole thing.
Without you sitting there going, they have very interesting technique. Well, I guess that's what we've all been doing in quarantine.
What do you want to continue to do? What do you want to improve on moving forward in quarantine?
Well, for me personally, because I'm really really trying with watercolor. Like I'm putting a
Yeah.
lot of effort into it. I was even buying like the good paper, like that Arches, like
Mhm.
140 pound or whatever it is. I don't know. I still don't know the pound thing yet, but I was buying that Arches paper, and then I realized this is a terrible idea because I need
Oh no.
a sketchbook to practice in so that I'm not going through all of this really expensive watercolor paper every time I'm practicing, because they
Oh,
only
no.
come with like 20 sheets or something like that.
Oh.
So I got myself one of those like Moleskine watercolor sketchbooks.
Nice.
So I've been painting a lot in there, and just kind of like I've been practicing glazing, I've been practicing lifting color, I've been practicing dry brushing, and I got I'm really excited about this, but I'm gonna have to really pick and choose the pieces that I do on it. I got black watercolor paper that came from England, and I'm very excited to use it, but there's only 12 sheets.
Oh my.
I did not even know that was a thing.
I didn't know it was
Wow.
a thing either, but I found black watercolor paper on Amazon, and it's perfect for the metallic watercolors that I got. So
Ooh.
I'm pretty excited about that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to practice on black sketchbook paper, because I don't care if if I fuck that up. Like, who cares? Like, whatever. So basically, this is just a long way of me saying, like, I want to master watercolor if I can, because it's such a great medium, and everything looks better in watercolor, that especially like sea life, like anything sea related, fish, mermaids, jellyfish, seahorses, all of them look good in watercolor. So that's my goal for the rest of quarantine, is to just get better at watercolor.
Yep. My goal, I think, because I'm trying to think, like, the problem with me is,
yup.
I'm trying to think, because the problem with me is I skip around too much. Like, I'm not focused on one thing, and I'm trying to run this Etsy shop thing that I've been trying to do, and it's like, it takes up a lot of time to, like, photograph things and put them online and do all the pricing and the business side of stuff, and I'm with you, Russell. And I'm like sitting here like dreading, because I know I have to like at some point like make up an Excel spreadsheet to go over like pricing and like profit ratio and stuff like that. And it just makes my skin crawl thinking about it. I'm gonna do it. So that's something I gotta do. It's kind of art related. I'm working on Halloween/fall stuff right now, because I'm kind of having to think seasonally right now with the Etsy shop, and then I get to move on to Christmas, which is going to be cool. And then I don't know how long this hellscape is going to last, but Inktober's coming up here in October.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something else I'm going to be looking forward to.
Should we all do that together?
I would love to. Just to let you know, it's freaking exhausting. I've never completed it. I think the furthest I've gotten, like, consistently is, like, a weekend. Like 1 week in is the furthest I've gotten, and then I give up.
Same.
I give up. So I think, and like, you know me, I overcomplicate everything. So I think that
yes, you do.
The goal this year is going to be to do simple ink drawings for Inktober. I'm going to try to keep it simple. So that's going to be my secondary theme for Inktober. So anytime it's like, if it's a starfish, I'm going to be like a simple starfish. Like, I'm going to be like simplify, so I can actually hopefully get everything done. So that's my continuing journey. Of course, it's probably going to change. Like, I know I don't stick to plans, so whatever.
Well, this is now out in the universe, and whoever's listening to it can pester you and be like, hey, did you do the thing?
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. This is another reason that's a really good reason to have this, is like keep me accountable, because nobody else will. What about you, Russell?
I am finishing up. I'm probably on the last like 150 pages of the book, reading through and doing notes and stuff. And the next thing I'm going to do is redo the outline and go back and rewrite everything beginning to end. Because the book as it is right now is just, it's a big bag of hot garbage mess. Like, I'm glad I finished it and stuff, but like everybody says, like, your first draft is for you. It's going to be trashy. I'm just like, yeah, it's trash. Yay. I accomplished that.
Yay.
and so there's a lot of stuff that I need to like rearrange and redo and everything. And like with all of the stuff that I've learned so far in quarantine, I want to put that into practice and just bring the book up to the level that I want it to be instead of the level that it is. So that's like my big goal with writing. With art stuff, like whenever I have time to paint, I'm going to try to do that, because it is kind of hard with minimalistic living and 2 5-year-olds running around. Like if I bust out the paints, they're like, Uncle Russell, I want to paint too. So I got to like set up for them and everything. So if I do paint anything, I've got to like fast get it done, because they're going to get done fast and get bored and then want to go do something else. And I can't have them running through wet paint.
Yeah.
Though that would probably be kind of fun.
Don't encourage them. Because then they're just going to run through your paint.
Yeah, they are. But like, and continue drawing people and get those dynamic poses down, so that way like characters that I draw don't look so stiff, because they do.
That's why I just don't draw people. I've just accepted that I cannot draw people. I don't understand anatomy. I cannot draw a human face. I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to play to my strengths. And apparently I'm really good at jellyfish and I'm really good at monsters. So that's what I'm going to draw.
But yeah, just kind of keep a routine and discipline, so that way I don't fall out in back into that funk that at the beginning of quarantine that I hit, and just like everything fell apart. Well, also because like I wasn't going to work. Yeah, because at the beginning of quarantine, whenever my routine got messed up and stuff, and it was just like, okay, make a new routine. And then work called me up and was just like, hey, you're actually an essential worker because we're technically construction. You can come back into work. It's like, ooh, like redo my schedule again and again. So now that I actually have a schedule, I can get more stuff done. And even if it is just kind of like, that person looks kind of weird, like there's still that amount of victory that keeps me going of doing it.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I'm going to be doing this podcast with y'all. Hey.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, y'all. Good talk.
Right. Good talk. Good talk, team.
Thank you for listening to us ramble about stuff.
We'll figure out an outro one of these days.
Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.
That one. That'll work.
Right.
Join us next time on FanBrush when we talk about stuff.
We'll figure it out.
Eventually. Yeah, this will all be smooth. Maybe. No.
It's a disaster. Okay, bye now.
Okay, bye. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to the FanBrush podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. You can find us on Instagram at fanbrush.podcast. Until next time, keep creating. Bye.